Hello everyone, this is Gary from Fantastic Fundas, and this is part 3 of economical critique of modern history. And in this lecture I will be teaching first of all about drain of wealth. Let's quickly finish this lecture. I will be a little fast in lecture because now I hope you are already clear with the concepts through earlier 2 lectures. What is drain of wealth? Okay, it is a constant. Drain of wealth is a constant and कंटिन्यूस, ठीक है जी, इसकी दो ये नेचर हैं. इट वॉज अ कॉन्स्टेंट एंड कंटिन्यूस फ्लो ऑफ वेल्थ फ्रॉम इंडिया टू इंग्लैंड. सो इट इज फ्लो ऑफ wealth from India to England, and for which India got no adequate commercial, material or economic return. Okay, so it is a constant and continuous flow of wealth from India to England without any material or economic return. Okay, this is the definition. You have to remember this. Now it consists of 3 things about which I will talk over here, and the first thing over here is the home charges, right? And number 2 is the interest or benefits by foreign companies on investments in India. So benefits of companies, that is number 2, and then there is number 3, which is related to the banks, shipping, banking, insurance, it's related to that, right? Shipping, banking, insurance. So these 3 things are related to it. Okay, so let me explain you these 3 things term by term. So what are the 3 things? These are the first of all, we'll talk about home charges. And what are home charges here? Home charges is it is basically the expenditure of the secretary of the state. Many times question has been asked on this, which of the following is part of home charges. So it includes the expenditure of the secretary of the state and his India office, the office in India of Britishers. India office, right? Not in India, I mean, the India office means not in India, it's in London. Okay, the India office, this is not in India. And this was created in 1858, and even this expense, all this located in London, these are called as home charges, and these were chargeable on India, and this also became part of drain of wealth. That is number 1. And what else is part of drain of wealth? Number 2 is the we know this, that there was East India Company, it had shares, so right, so there were shareholders, and these shareholders were paid dividend out of the profits of India, and this profit was also part of home charges. Number 3 is there was a public debt of India. I've already talked about it, I will not explain it here. So the public debt of India, and there was interest on this debt of India which was be paid through India. This also was a part of home charges. Then all the war expenditure, all the military expenditure, maintenance, continuation, salary, everything on military, all the store purchases for military, everything was supposed to be through Indian earnings, and this all part was actually of home charges. Okay. So basically what was happening overall, that the charges were on Indians in home charges. What is happening in home charges are on Indians, right? But benefit is not for Indians, it is for British. So that is about home charges. Okay, so I'll now quickly explain you the next point, and which is about the interests or benefits of foreign companies. Okay, let me just put it here. Let me write it properly here so that you know this point. Interests or benefits of foreign companies on investment in India. on investment. So these companies were doing some investment in India, and on these investment, whatever the interest or benefit they were having, this was also leading to drain of wealth. Please remember, all these words, they have a particular meaning, right? So these interest or benefit which company was having on investment in India, they were not part of home charges, they were part of benefits of the company. Okay, so this was number 2. And number 3 is this is shipping, insurance. You can take down the notes if you want. Shipping, insurance, banking, right? Now these companies which were working in colonial nature, all these companies, so it was basically all these 3 things together, they they make what do we call as drain of wealth in India. And this concept was first explained by Dada Bhai Nauroji. I've already talked about this, just quick reference. Dada Bhai Nauroji. Nauroji. Okay. And this was explained by him in his book in 1867, and the name of his book was The Poverty and Un-British Rule in India. That is why UPSC keeps on asking you this name in paper, who wrote this book, The Poverty and Un-British Rule in India, right? Why? Because in this book only he explained this concept of drain of wealth theory, and this man is also known as the father of the economic nationalism. Okay, there can be independent question on economic nationalism, to answer to which you must listen to 2 earlier lectures, and this lecture together they will make economic nationalism, right? And then and he explained this that how that drain of wealth is the basic evil, an evil because of which there are all ills in India. Okay, and then later on we know this, there was another author, his name is R.C. Dutt, and he wrote in his book The Economic History of India. The Economic History of India. In this book he talks about the all the economic critique. So we have done this in detail. Okay, to sum drain of wealth, I can tell you that drain of wealth theory was a part of economic nationalism. This was part of economic nationalism, number 1. Number 2, drain of wealth theory. Okay, so this theory, number 2, is that it explained the misery of farmers, industry, everything else. And then this theory was later on, when Gandhi comes, Gandhi also supports this theory. Please remember this, Gandhi supports this theory when he comes later on in the scene, right? And how do we say that? Because if we talk about salt issue, that is a proof of it, that Gandhi was supporting it. Okay, so this was mainly about the drain of wealth theory. And now, before I explain you about the systems of all the systems, right, all those khatbandi and all, I'll just tell you the conclusion of the whole of the economic thing, in which you can using which you can answer your mains question about economic whenever there's a question of economic nationalism, right? So a few things you have to talk about. All the things I have talked about, you have to summarize them, and in short you can conclude that, you see, the British rule जो था वो, it was based on the foundation of the moral belief that they are invincible, right? You have to talk about this principle. Number 2, that it was for good of Indians. These 2 myths were busted by economic nationalism, and this was busted, not this one particularly was busted by economic nationalism. And even even I remember reading in NCERT probably that one of the textbook in school that was being taught, it had a chapter on benefits of British rule in India. See, this is the reason that education is important. Whenever there is an essay on education in mains paper, you should talk actually about this, that how education can be used and misused. Even today, when BJP government, NDA government, this is in lot of news for its HRD department. This is the role that education play. Even Britishers later on, somewhere in 1910s or 20s, they introduced a chapter in a 6th or 7th standard book, benefits of drinking alcohol later on at the time of Gandhi. That was introduced by Britishers because Gandhi stopped the sale of liquor. He promoted say the stopping of sale of liquor in India. ठीक है, तो बाद में जाके हम पढ़ेंगे कि तो इसलिए हमें ये सारी बुक्स के बारे में पता होना चाहिए कि ये जो बुक है जैसे बेनिफिट्स ऑफ ब्रिटिश रूल इन इंडिया, ऐसी बातों का पता हम यूज़ कर सकते हैं ऐसे में या फिर हिस्ट्री के आंसर्स में. ओके, एंड यू नो that people understood, right? People were aware now, and this awareness helped in national movement of India. Okay, and then until let's say end of 19th century, that is 1899, right? We can say that the demands were mainly political, but because of this economic critique, demands were also economic in nature. जो Indian National Congress में सबकी demands आती हैं. Okay, and it was by rather 1905, by 1905. It's like basically after these books, it's not this way that up to 19 only it was political. In fact, because of these books only, we can say rather from 1850 onwards, when these all economic critics started, the focus came on political and economic as well, not just 1899, right? Okay, so and then after this, what happened by 1905, so there was because of all this happening, because of all this, there was some demand of self-government in India. We wanted our own rule, and we wanted Britishers to go for the first time. We earlier also wanted them to go, but here it is for a very different reason, and much larger number of masses wanted. पहले भी हम चाहते थे अंग्रेज चले जाएं, but अब बहुत ज़्यादा लोग चाह रहे हैं अंग्रेज चले जाएं. And in fact 1905 के अंदर 1905 के अंदर कांग्रेस का सेशन बनारस में होता है, and in this बनारस सेशन सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट की जो आवाज़ उठती है उसके अंदर दादा भाई नारोजी ओनली, राइट? नारोजी यहाँ पर कहते हैं कि ओनली फॉर्म ऑफ गवर्नमेंट विच सूट्स इंडिया इज इज द सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट, या तो सेल्फ गवर्नमेंट की पहली बारी यहाँ पर बात हो रही है. ओके, दैट इज द ओनली रेमेडी. एंड देन फिर इन 1906 क्या होता है, आई एम जस्ट टेलिंग द रेपरकशन ऑफ दिस मूवमेंट, यू कैन ऑलवेज राइट दिस इन कंक्लूजन. एंड व्हाट हैपेंड इन 1906 सेशन कैलकाटा में होता है, एंड यहाँ पे नौरोजी, यहाँ मैंने पहले भी कहा था आपको, प्रेसिडेंट होते हैं नौरोजी as president. What he does, he lays the goal of the national movement, right? He says that the goal of national movement is Swaraj, right? And what kind of Swaraj? Like that of UK or the colonies, right? This is not complete independence, right? So basically the seeds of nationalism were sown. This is the last concluding line. Seeds of nationalism were sown because of this economic critique, ठीक है? And this brilliant scientific analysis of the complex economic mechanism of the modern colonialism, ये हो रहा था यहाँ पे. All right, so next we move to the systems. Now this is I'll quickly finish this topic. There is not much to learn. Okay, so first is the permanent settlement system. I'm not going to teach you here. I have done this in lecture 10. Please go and listen to that lecture. Lecture 10 के अंदर 21 minutes के आसपास ये आता है, तो you can always listen to it. 21 minutes, okay? And then the second system is the Rayotwadi system, and I have also talked about this in detail. For this you will have to go to lecture number 12, and this starts from around 11th minute in that lecture. Okay, so these were the two systems that we have already done, and then we are also done somewhere. I also did Ijaredari system. I don't remember where that was done. You can always go and do that. Minute these I noted down, but I don't remember Ijaredari. So you can always check out the earlier lecture for that. Okay, so and the next system I just wanted to talk about here is the Mehelwadi system. Okay, so we are done with permanent settlement, Rayotwadi, Ijaredari, and Mehelwadi system. Mehelwadi system is simple as that. Now the areas where Mehelwadi system was, this was on the northwestern part of the India, and all the Ganga Valley. This was in Ganga Valley, right? And this was also parts of central India, and in modified form it was also implemented in Punjab. Okay, and इसके अंदर होता क्या था, what used to happen in this was a very simple thing. इसके अंदर there was एक village होता था, उसके अंदर एक कोई बंदा head होता था. There was a village or a state, and there was to be head in it. Basically estate means महल, so there was a महल, right? महल. And पूरा गांव था, the whole village or estate, that is being called, it's a village or estate. so which overall was responsible for the collection of the revenue, and there was a family, a group, rather a group of landlords who were appointed, and they were to collect the rent. Okay, and in Punjab, in this was the village system, the modified system जो पंजाब का है उसे village system कहते थे वहाँ पे. Okay, and इसके अंदर जो लैंड रेवेन्यू होता था, रेवेन्यू वॉज रिवाइज्ड पीरियोडिकली, ये हो रहा था इसके अंदर, राइट. सो दिस वाज अबाउट महलवाड़ी सिस्टम, वेरी सिंपल सिस्टम, नथिंग मोर देन दिस यू नीड टू नो. एंड द नेक्स्ट सिस्टम इज ददनी सिस्टम. आई विल जस्ट टॉक अबाउट इट टू. ददनी सिस्टम, ददनी सिस्टम, दिस इज एक्चुअली अ पर्शियन वर्ड ऑफ पर्शियन ओरिजिन. पर्शिया के अंदर एक वर्ड बोला जाता है पर्शियन में जिसका नाम होता है ददन, DADAN, मे बी प्रोनाउंसिएशन शायद कुछ और होगी, दादन या ददन जो भी है. इट मीन्स एन एडवांस, किसी को एडवांस देना. ओके, सो इसके अंदर क्या हो रहा था, इट वाज इंडियन ट्रेडर्स और जो मर्चेंट्स होते थे, दे वुड एक्ट, इंडियंस, राइट, इंडियन ट्रेडर्स, they would act as middlemen, right, middlemen for advancement of cash या फिर और some material, right, और cash और material. ओके, किसको देते थे, ये देते थे टू वीवर्स ऑफ बंगाल, इनको देते थे. सिंपल एज दैट, राइट. तो ये क्या करते थे, दे वुड, ट्रेडर थे ये, और जो मिडलमैन की तरह एक्ट करते थे, एंड एडवांसमेंट करते थे कैश और मटेरियल की. ओके, और ये 1753 में अबॉलिश हो गया था, इसकी जगह कुछ और सिस्टम आया, वो भी बेकार था, एंड देन दिस वाज अगेन अबॉलिश, एंड अल्टीमेटली व्हेन वॉरेन हेस्टिंग कम, दिस वाज कंप्लीटली डन अवे विद. ओके, एंड ये अबॉलिश इसलिए होता है क्योंकि बहुत सारे देवर मेनी मर्चेंट दे फेल टू डिलीवर द गुड्स ऑन टाइम, एंड लेटर ऑन इट वाज, जिसके बाद सिस्टम इंट्रोड्यूस हुआ था, दैट वाज नोन एज गोमस्त system. You don't need to go into detail of that, that is फालतू का system. And then the sixth system I wanted to talk about was खत बंदी system, right. इसके अंदर क्या होता था, it was basically खत बंद, खत एक डेटा इकट्ठा होता था, बंद कर दिया जाता था, उस डेटा में it was a database actually, right. In this database there was name of all the craftsmen to whom higher tax was to be charged. Okay, so in this what used to be done, that it was a kind of forced labor system, जो खतबंदी system था, forced labor system. And what used to be done in this was that it was imposed by East India Company on the weavers in Bengal. Okay, so this was about khatbandi system, nothing much. And then finally we have Jajmani system. Jajmani words comes from the Hindi word Yagyaman. Okay, I'll just write the word Yagyaman. Okay, Yagyaman, and this Yagyaman से बन गया Yajman, and from Yajman to came the word Jajman. Yagyaman, what was happened, the person who would conduct the yagyas, the havans, the okay, and all those things with the help of a Brahmin, and he would pay Brahmin something, and in lieu of that Brahmin would do the yagya. Okay, and this basically it's a system of barter, and based on the caste system, it was a system of interdependence of social classes for their economic needs on each other. Okay, so it was a system it was an economic system, in other words we can say that it was an economic system in which, so on the basis of class, so your social your caste, right, on that basis this was done, right. For Brahmin would come, and then there was Kshatriya who was doing the havan, Brahmin would be paid, and Kshatriya would get the benefit of the havan, so something like that, right. It actually something special about Jajmani system is there, because there was a novel, I'll write it with a different color here. There was a novel called Gandevata, right. In this novel was written by Tara Shankar Bandhopadhyay. Okay, so Tara Shankar Bandhopadhyay was, he's talked about this system in this novel Gandevata, and it talks about the tyranny, right? The village using some schoolmaster, that how, you know, he's trying, some schoolmaster is there, is trying to change the life of the people. There's no need to go into detail of the novel, right? Gun Devta is a novel, simple as that. And then, you know, this man, why is this important, Tara Shankar Bandopadhyay? Because this man is a Gyan Peeth award winner. Okay, this man is a Gyan Peeth award winner. And what else? You know, in this, you know, and this, yeah, on the basis of this novel Gun Devta, there was also a movie made, and which was called Jalsa Ghar. Okay, I'm writing the name of the movie here: Jalsa Ghar. Jalsa Ghar. And you know, in this they talk about the condition of the landlords in the cities, because of all this exploitative system by the Britishers, and you know, all these people. Okay, so that was all about the systems. So number of system is: one is permanent settlement system, two Riyatwadi, Ijaredari, Mahalwadi, Dadni system, Khatbandi system, Jajmani system. There is much more detail about all these systems. There is no need to, you know, go into unnecessary details of any system. Just read enough, and this much is enough, whatever I have taught you for our paper. Now I cannot tell you that 100% there will not be a question on these, you know, 100% there will be question out of this only. They cannot ask you anything else. Well, they are UPSC, Union Public Service Commission, they can ask you anything, but the point is there is a limit to which you can study. Okay, in normal course of study, this is enough. Studying this much, whatever I'm teaching you in modern history, will help you clear most of the 80 to 90%, 95% questions of the modern history. Okay, so lastly, one important thing is, if you like this video, please go and share it on your YouTube channel. I want more shares, yaar. Itna to you can do for me. And then if you like this video and you want to see future videos, then you can subscribe to our channel by clicking on the subscribe button here. If you do this, then what will happen? The videos will come directly to your mailbox, and you will get to know that new video has been there. Okay, so that's all, and thank you for watching.